This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Theater West for the presentation of Without Annette.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you are?
I'm Lawrence Juber. I'm the composer and the producer and the onstage guitarist.
Okay, as for the composer, what kind of music did you try to get the emotions out with your guitar playing?
Yeah, I mean, the theme that I wrote for the tune really was it's structured, but it has improv in it. So I wanted to kind of capture that balance between the two. And just to kind of kick the thing off with something that has a bit of excitement to it. And then, in between, like the incidental stuff, I just try and catch the emotion of that moment, that feeling of that moment.
That's interesting because basically that's not scripted, so you just kind of, it's almost like jazz?
In places, yeah. In places. I mean, but it is a scripted show, but it drifts in and out of improv. So I've kind of picked my spots where I know what I'm going to be articulating with that. But the improv show part of it is completely random. So there'll just be sometimes I'll just find a moment, find some twist that I can articulate. And there's been times with improv where they're improvising and the music becomes part of the improv and they start reacting to that, so then it's really cool. But it is like jazz. I really look at the whole show like big band jazz, that it's arranged, it's written, but there's room for solos.
Okay, could I have a brief bio of you?
I'm sorry?
A brief bio of you.
Oh, brief bio. I played lead guitar in Paul McCartney's Wings. Since then, I've been a studio musician, composer. I'm a solo artist. I have 23 albums of my own. I tour fairly constantly. And Hope, my wife, who wrote this, she and I have written stage musicals together too. Gilligan's Island, the musical, a very Brady musical. It's kind of family business for us doing comedy stuff. So that's what I do. Yeah.
So basically, how did you? I assume you have a musical background. How did you get into stage theater from music?
Well, through Hope, because she has, she's a writer and she has a degree in acting and directing, and I never really. I mean, I played in London. Like I used to play Jesus Christ Superstar and Hair and stuff like that, but I never really had that much of an interest in theatre. But I've learned to love it through working with Hope, and we've done 3 musicals and done children's theatre too. So I like the dynamics of it. It's very reminiscent of live performance in music too.
Yeah, that's a question I want to ask you. Is theater very similar to music? I know there's musical theater, like you said, Jesus Christ Superstar.
The process of theater is quite similar. I mean, I learn a lot as a musician. I learn a lot from watching actors. I also learn a lot from watching comedians and magicians, any performers that work in another medium. But the process is very similar. So it's just the medium itself is different, but the structured pieces, the improvisational pieces, the muscle memory, sense memory, all of that stuff, it's really very similar for a musician as it is for an actor. It's just the technique is different.
Yeah, because I've actually interviewed a few musicians who are actually doing acting and all that, and they told me that with music, well, first of all, with music, you gotta practice. You gotta know your stuff.
Practice, yeah.
An actor does not have to know their stuff.
Well, they have to know their lines. So. You have to know your lines, and you have to know the character, and and the same thing with music, that you have to have an understanding of style. If you're playing jazz, you don't play it like you play bluegrass. Playing Shakespeare, you don't do that the same way you play Chekhov. I mean, the techniques are similar, but the stylistic context is different. Okay. So you got to know your lines or your music, and you've got to understand the style, and then you've got to be committing to the character.
Okay. Then one last question. I've always asked this to everybody. because I'm intrigued by musicians and actors. I asked them, would you prefer to have an actor who can sing or basically a musician who can act? And they always say, I got to have the actor who can sing because you got to care about the character, right? Well, but a lot of the really great singers, they're musicians. No, because they've started when they were 5. So, no, they're really musicians who can act. What do you think about that?
It's a very interesting question because it cuts two different ways. And it's interesting in that musicians who turn to acting are taken often more seriously than actors who turn to music. It shouldn't really be that way. I think that it depends on the individual. It depends on what their skill set is. Because you can be a great musician and not be a great actor, and vice versa. The real talent is the people that do musical theatre, where they act and they are musicians, and that's hard. It's hard to do. It's all hard.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I love the play. I loved the music on this thing.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. And you are?
Hi, Charlie Mount. I've been a member of the company for 20 years, but for this play, without Annette, I directed the play, and I also play the part of Hogan.
Okay, and why did you decide to do this play?
Well, I did it last year at the Whitefire Theatre, and I played Hogan. I didn't direct it last year. Last year it was directed by Jeff Doucette, one of the co-writers. And I had so much fun. I come from a comedy improv background, and there's a lot of improv in the play, and it's a lot of fun. It really got my juices flowing. So when they asked me about bringing it here to my home company, to Theatre West, I brought it to the board. I said, absolutely, I'd love to do it, and I'd love to direct it, and just have a lot of fun with it. It's a project that is just full of love, and it's full of hope, and it's full of comedy, and I just wanted to do it, and so I didn't get enough of it last year, so I had to do it again.
Now, but the casting. Obviously, the way you cast this is extremely important.
Oh, very important. Yeah. I mean, you want people with a lot of comedy improv background. But we, here at the company, we do cast within the company. So I searched within the company. I found some good people. We couldn't cast all the roles because we actually had 4 productions going on here at the same time. So members are busy. But 3 of the roles were empty, and we filled them with members from the Whitefire Theatre. Excuse me, from the Whitefire production, all of whom had comedy improv backgrounds. But yes, casting is very important, and I think we have a lovely cast here. I think everybody's perfectly suited to their roles, and they're all having a ball. And they're all very inventive. They bring a lot to the table, a lot of invention, a lot of comedy, a lot of improvisation, because, the show is different every night. Everybody's bringing new stuff to it. And they're all and they work really well together as an ensemble, because most of them know each other. We've known each other for years. Yeah.
So when you look for the casting, do you have the character in mind, and I got to find a perfect match for this character, or is it I have to just get a great actor? I know the character is gay, but I can get any guy. Or do you say I have to find a gay actor?
No, you need actors. You need people that can actually play the part. I will take somebody that can invent and bring something to the table over somebody who is the perfect casting type, over somebody that looks the role or sounds the role. You want somebody that can actually sell the role, because they're on stage for almost 2 hours, and they're on stage with 11 people, and they have to constantly interact, and they have to constantly invent. So you need actors. You need people that are trained, people that are available to you and can rehearse and can come up with stuff during the course of the show. So no, you need good people. So we have a couple of people in the show who were not perfectly cast as written, but you rework the show a little bit, you rework some of the scenes, you fit the actors, and you bring whatever the actors are bringing to the table. That's what you go with, and that's what we've done. And I think we have a lovely, crackling, very present show for that reason, because we are using the actors that we've got, and they're all very talented. They all bring something really amazing to the production.
Yeah. Okay. The biggest question I have then is the villain, the Billy.
Billy.
That's not him. I mean, unless you just have to hire a jerk. I mean, but that's not. How do you get that guy to be improv?
Oh well, that's acting, baby. That's what you do. You don't. You're not every part that you don't always get cast as to who you are. The villain is very easy to play. You just have to improvise and throw the lines. I mean, Jason is wonderful. Jason, who plays Billy Bingo, he's in fact he had a lot of notes the last couple of days, he was sending me texts thinking that he needed a real bad guy haircut. So he was trying different, how should I shave my beard? What should my hair look like? And I said, man, just wear something that you are comfortable with. Because the thing is about villains don't think they're villains. They think they're good guys. They're going to look good like everybody else. So I said, just be comfortable, man. So put together a look that works for you. Don't try to look evil. You be you, and you be comfortable on stage, because then you're free to create, and then you're free to throw the lines out there. Villains don't think they're villains. Play the hero. Always play the hero if you're a villain.
Okay. Any advice you can give to my listeners? Because again, a lot of them are actors. They've been working. They just can't find a break. Any advice you can give to, say, a younger actor?
Yes, become a doctor.
Seriously?
You want advice for actors? Well, it depends what you mean by actor. But in my mind, you want to start with your training. Nail down your training. Give yourself permission to suck for a long time. Go out there, take chances, get into workshops, get into showcases, do anything to get yourself on stage. Take classes, but get on stage and perform in front of people. You learn by doing. I really think, because I come from a comedy background as well, so I really think that every actor should put an act together. Get up on a stage in a comedy club, get in front of an audience, and they used to call it in vaudeville naked with the pants down, because that's naked from the waist down. Excuse me. That's what it feels like to be out there. So if you try that, get out there, do an act, do a cabaret act if you're a singer, do a comedy act if you like comedy, do something where you are in front of an audience and it's all up to you, because if you can do that, the day you're hired for a show and they hand you a script with the words already down and the director is telling you where to go, baby, it's a piece of cake. You will never be afraid of anything ever again. So get your training down, take your classes, and get yourself out there and perform.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Jason Frankovitz. I live in Hollywood. I've lived in California for about 15 years. This is my second time being involved Without Annette. We did this play last year with a double cast, and I was asked to reprise my role as Billy Bingo for the second production here at Theatre West. Billy is he's a stand-up comic. He is getting involved in improv because he thinks it's going to be a good place where he can get a lot of ideas for his stand-up act. He's not necessarily the nicest guy in the world. He's really out for himself. He's interested in seeing what other people do, but mostly so he can kind of co-opt what they're up to. He's not much of a giver. He's a little bit of a taker.
Yeah. A lot of this was actually, I guess, improv. So did you actually improvise some of the story there, or was it all scripted?
The main plot of the play is improvised. There are windows in the script for improvised moments, and some of those you saw. I don't want to kind of give them away for other people that may come and see the show, but every show is different. So if you see the show on 2 different nights, you are not going to see the same performance, because we have these sections of the script which we do improvise, and so those change every night.
Yeah, my point being is your character is kind of an anti-hero, it's kind of a villain.
Uh-huh.
Did you come up with that yourself? You want to be the villain?
Oh no, I've never been a villain. We don't improvise any of the plot, and one of the reasons for that is that it's very difficult to do plot in any kind of improv context. Though the plot was totally devised by Hope and Jeff, Hope Juber and Jeff Doucette. They created the character of Billy. They created all the characters. We're able to interpret those characters, but yeah, I'm not a nice guy, or I'm certainly not the nicest guy in the class.
Yeah, because my point being is, I love villainous because they require a lot of acting, something outside of yourself. Now, if you're going to improv that, how do you do that? How do I improv something villainous or something like that? Did you do a lot of that, or was it just more comedic points that you did?
Well, I do have an improv background. I graduated from the Iowa West training program, and I'm on a few teams, so I do kind of come into the play with that, and I think that's one of the reasons why they cast me. No, I think that I don't think it's necessarily difficult to be a villain when you're playing improv, simply because it's just a point of view. And if you are committed to your point of view and you follow the feelings that flow from that point of view, then being a villain is really no different than being a good guy. It's just how you are trying to accomplish what matters to you, and what matters to you is your point of view, your POV.
Yeah, because my point is kind of, if you're going to play yourself, that's easy, right? I mean, are you really acting if you're playing yourself? So if you say you're the leading man, you're attractive, okay, I'm just attractive, I'm just going to be myself. But if you're playing someone out of the box, someone who you really aren't, and now you got to improv that, how do you do that? I mean, how do you just think, what would this guy do? I mean, I know it's not me, but what would this guy do? How do you do that?
Well, I think that's, that's one of the things I'm grateful about for my training, was that you get schooled very thoroughly in absorbing a point of view arbitrarily. So once you learn that every point of view is equivalent, you just have to kind of commit to it, then you can be a good guy, you can be a bad guy, you can be a caring person, you can be a callous person. It all stems from that commitment. And if you have that commitment, then you can kind of convincingly deliver anything, because it's not... Now, it is true that there are some things that are closer to who you are innately, and those things might be easier to do, it doesn't mean you're only locked into only that, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Again, I liked your performance, because I couldn't tell what was scripted, what wasn't. You were very believable, to the point where I'm not sure if I like you.
That's a really great compliment, actually, because if you don't know what was scripted and what was improvised, and you're not sure what part was acting and what part was authentic, then I guess that means that it was a pretty good illusion overall. And that's what we're in the theater to do, is to create illusion. So
I liked your performance. I really loved it.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for being in the show.
Oh, thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with...
Hi, Yancey Dunham. Well, I'm a company member here at Theater West. I've been a company member here for about, I would say 10 years now. So I've been doing quite a bit of plays here and around town, and I was invited into the audition by the director because I got a little football experience, and that's the character I'm playing. So.
Great, and which character is that?
It's CJ, the ex-football player, which is crazy that I have that in my own, history. I played football in high school, and was going to be into college, but I got injury, coincidentally, just like the play, and was not able to go and play football. I had to redirect and do something else. So funny how it mirrors the play here a little bit.
Yeah. So what do you think of this play? I mean, it's partly scripted, part improv. Have you ever experienced anything like this before?
No, I've never done a play like this, and I've done a little improv. Obviously, it just as being an actor, we do improv time to time in rehearsals and auditions. But I've never been in a scripted improv play, and this has just been fun. And as soon as I read it, I was just like, I want to do it, because it was just so silly, so goofy, so fun.
Yeah. So I mean, how much of this did you put in of yourself? Did you put into it? Because it's kind of like if you're exposing yourself. Usually, you don't do that as an actor. I mean, the script lines are scripted there. You don't have to say anything personal.
I know, and I think that's what the challenge and the why people are scared of improv, because you do expose your soul up there. And but I was ready for it. I wanted to play kind of a fish out of the water character. I mean, this is a guy that is kind of new into acting, and it was fun for me because I'm a sort of a confident actor that gets authoritative roles. I've never got to play someone that's kind of new to acting, so that was kind of fun to play that.
Okay. Also, to give you a little voice here, just for you to tell the audience, you're not homophobic or anything like that, right?
Of course not.
Right.
No, but that was the comedy in the character, to try to get me and the other Trevor character to come to an arc at the end, to sort of let that go and let the labels go and all of that. But that is played for humor. Yeah. But I don't go too far with it, because obviously it's not a real nice thing to be, right?
Well, I know that. I wanted you to communicate, because again, someone in the audience might get the wrong impression, because again, this is partly scripted. Is he saying this because this is really him? You know what I mean?
I hear you. No, all in good fun.
Right. Yeah. Well, I enjoyed your character, and again, I kind of appreciate that the writers wrote something in there that's actually challenging. Like, instead of it just being you guys just having a party or something like that, they're having no point. At least you brought in some kind of tension with the homophobia, with, again, someone plagiarizing and all that.
I agree, absolutely. And I think that's what makes it more interesting, I think, for the audience as well. So,
okay. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
thanks a lot.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with
Andrew Villarreal. I'm originally from Texas. I graduated from Texas A&M International. I came up to LA in 2008, and I've done a lot of theater around here, and I'm just focusing on getting representation and trying to break into film and TV. I played Trevor Green. Trevor, as described in the breakdown, is a flamboyantly gay barista at Starbucks who's very sensitive and a prankster. And that's it, and that's how I approached him. When I went into the audition, I said, I better be this character before I ever show myself. So I came in with a really high-pitched voice, and I, gave people little Starbucks treats. And then for 2 months after that, I didn't give it up until we had opening night. We went out for some drinks, and I had to let it out. I had to drop my voice back down because it was painful. It hurt too much.
Well, actually, again, I guess I should know this by now. But basically, you played your part so well. I thought that was your voice.
I know, yeah. I mean, sometimes it does. Whenever we finish a rehearsal or performance, I have to on my drive on the way home, I have to bring my voice back down to where it is because it's so naturally just sticks in the top, in my nose, and so I have to bring it back down and relax my voice and then go back into my deep resonance, which is where I really live. So.
So, what do you think about this play?
I think it's fantastic the way it brings people together. What's awesome is just that when I did it the first time and did it the second time, everyone gets along so well, and everyone just really sinks into their parts and brings such an insight to kind of archetypal characters, everyone plays them so well. It really does create an ensemble over the time, and it's so difficult to feel, part of a group back in Shakespearean days where you were part of a company and you were together and you fed off of each other and you learned from each other, and that's what I think is the best thing about this. And this is the second year that I do it. So I did it last year, and this is my second time. I'm reprising the role, and the same magic happens, and that's hard to find.
So do you think your character is too much of a stereotype?
I don't. I think it's what makes him unique. And I used to work at Starbucks, so I know the feeling, and I just kind of associate I don't know, the only thing that I'm affecting is my voice. Other than that, he's a regular guy who works at Starbucks, who deals with people on a daily basis. He wants to be an actor. He's affected by all this external stimuli in Los Angeles, and he comes to this class for sanctuary. And I don't think he's a stereotype at all. I think he's just like the rest of us. He just has different skin,
Well, I like your performance.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming.
I also like your comic timing and your improvisation.
Oh, great, fantastic. Yeah, I work real hard. I learn from the best, taking a lot of classes, and of course Lawrence and Hope, they're great teachers, as well as Charlie Mount, our director. He's really helped me so much and really taught me the art of just landing something and just kind of improvising, sticking to the story and sticking to a certain attitude,
Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marks with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
I'm Chloe Rosenthal, an actress in the show Without Annette. I moved here to Los Angeles from Oregon. I've been an actress since I was 12 years old. I just previously did a show here called Verdigris. I remember you interviewing me. And so now we're doing this improv show with Without Annette. And so, so I'm a transplant from out of state, but I've been here for about 18 months now, and I've been doing TV and film. I've been doing a lot of theater, and it's great having this experience right now doing improv because you don't get a lot of that out here, especially when it's scripted, part improv. I've been learning a lot. So, yeah. I played Jackie. She's like the seemingly ditzy blonde, but she's actually very smart, and you find that out towards the end of the play.
So what did you add to your part? Because again, this is partially improv.
Yeah, it is improv. There's little bits and pieces. A lot of the times it'll be obvious because we'll say, hey, can we get a suggestion from the audience? And then you know right away that, we're going right into the improv. But for a lot of it is in between the lines, there's improv as well. So there's some silent moments on stage where I different characters, like Trevor, who's my gay best friend in the show, and Libby, who's my best friend and roommate. So there's a lot of like opportunity for improv.
Yeah, so could you tell me basically how much of you put in there? Because I hope I'm not getting too personal and all that, but to do improv, you put yourself into it a lot more than you would for a scripted part.
Definitely, yeah. There's a lot. I would say there's a lot of me in it because I related to the character in general. Because I do get cast a lot as the ditzy blonde, and I'm like, when are they going to take me seriously? So yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of me that's in the role. Obviously, the character's gay. I'm not gay in real life, so that's a little bit of a difference. But not that there's anything wrong with that. So I guess there are opportunities in the play to really put yourself in there with the improv because it gives you the freedom to express whatever's coming out of you naturally, and of course that's going to show a little bit of who you are.
Great. So actually, I enjoyed the play because I did like the honesty. Actually, I like the scripted because I've been to improv before, and they're kind of a little haphazard, kind of a little disorganized. And this one, I also got to experience a bit of the cast that I would never have experienced before. I got to see some of the real cast members.
Some of the real cast members?
Yeah, some of the real the real essence of who they are.
You mean like as much as we were characters, we were really it was really us. Yeah. Actually, I feel like that with a lot of the people in the cast as well. I think everybody was like perfectly fit for their role, and in the strangest way, like everybody came together, and whoever auditioned or whoever was given the part, that was who they were, and so a lot of it was so natural for us to just take off with that. So yeah.
Well, I enjoyed the play.
Thank you. Thanks so much for coming. We really appreciate. We had a great turnout. So.
All right, thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for interviewing me.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with.
This is Maria Kress. I've been working in theater for many, many, many years. I'm not going to tell you how long because then that'll give you a clue of how old I am. And that's off the table. But I studied Meisner way back when, and I've been involved in two major theater companies here in Los Angeles, Actors Alley, and of course here with Theater West, one of the longest running theater companies in LA. I love it. We are such a close-knit group of actors, writers, and associates, and we just love performing, love working on our craft, and so I do it for the love of it.
Great. And which character did you play?
I played Jeanette Parker. I play the Beverly Hills housewife. So I get to wear fun, fantastic clothing. I've got these designer handbags and sunglasses, to help my character, of course. But I'm going to keep them after the show.
So basically, you improv'd a lot of the character. I guess a lot of the mannerisms. But do you improv any of the storyline also?
Well, a lot of the show is scripted, and there are certain sections of improv games that are peppered in throughout the show, and so I remain in character no matter what throughout the whole thing, and so I improv as my character.
Yeah, again, that's intriguing. So basically, that means that's really you we're seeing on the stage. You're not acting; that's really you.
Yes, it is. Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel that's a little personal? Do you feel like maybe it's crossing the line a little bit that now you're seeing me?
No, not at all, because it's in the realm of a presentation, a production, a theater show, and there is a sense of freedom that I felt with this show because of that fact that I'm able to inhabit the character, and throughout the whole play, even doing the improv, it's very freeing, and once I kind of let loose of my nerves, I sailed. I felt like I was flying today. I mean, it was just, for me, a lot of fun and just a blast.
Well, I enjoyed your performance.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for coming to see it.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, absolutely. You bet.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with...
Hi, guys. I'm Jeremy Klein. I'm an actor improviser living in LA. I'm a graduate of the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, and I've trained with every improv thing. I love improv to death. I'm an actor. I recently did a pilot, and I'm going to see what goes with that, and I'm really grateful to be asked these questions right now. Thank you so much. I played Kyle Peterson. Kyle is a method actor, and he's coming to the improv class to try and learn and grow with a new skill.
Yeah. So basically, was this very similar to an improv class? I mean, does this look like, well, this is the way it is?
Absolutely. Having been in a lot of improv classes, I have talked to Hope Juber and Jeff Doucette, the writers of the play, and I have to say that I've seen almost every moment in this play in an actual class, and it's a wonderful play that truly mimics life.
Great. And since you have so much experience with improv, how important is taking an improv class to being a theater actor?
I would say it goes even beyond theater acting. I think even if you're not interested in acting whatsoever, if you want to be an accountant, I think improvisation is a life skill, because you can view it as public speaking, you can view it as just adding fun element to your life that maybe brings a little bit of joy once a week, but I think everyone should learn a little bit of improvisation, even if it's just for the fun of it.
Great. I like the performance, and this is very unique because I don't think I've ever seen this before, where it's partially scripted and partially improv.
Yes. The actual ratio is about 60% scripted and 40% improvised. So, it's a wonderful ratio, and I'm really happy to be a part of the cast.
Right. Okay. And so basically, how much of your character? Because again, you're like this method actor. I mean, what kind of? I don't want to get too personal or anything, but about childhood or anything. But I mean, how much of you did you put into it?
Well, I like to believe that I can work me into any role, and I can find whatever version of any character I'm playing in myself, and that's I believe that there are parts with this character that are absolutely me and parts that are a total stretch, and that's why they call it acting.
All right. Well, I enjoyed your performance.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you are?
Hi, Heather Elise Becker. Yes, I am originally from New York. Grew up everywhere. I did elementary school in Texas, middle school was Connecticut, high school was San Diego. Moved up here a few years after that, and been doing my thing ever since. I play Libby Martinson, nerdy, quirky one. She is exactly like me when I was growing up. Very shy, very insecure, doesn't really quite know how to carry herself. She's just trying to find her place in this world, and she has a best friend who is gorgeous and flawless, and she aspires to be that and learns and grows from her so much. And they teach each other things.
So I have a question for you. How important is improv in theater? I mean, does it really help you out?
I've been taking improv classes for quite a few years now. It not only helps you in theater, but it really helps you on auditions, because it helps you get out of your head. That is the best thing to do, because casting directors and producers and all those crazy people out there, they want to see what you can bring to the character, and it's new and it's different. Theater it helps you relax. It sounds scary, but it honestly just helps you relax. It's writing on your feet. It's fun.
Yeah, I've never heard of this being done before, where it's scripted and improv. What do you think about that?
I think that's the best part about it, because every single show, we have 12 performances, and every single show is different. So it's fun for the audience to come back and realize, oh, that part wasn't scripted, or oh, that was the improv part. So it's fun because, like we say, every show is different.
So basically, but that is so intimate. You're actually communicating your personal life to other people. How is that as an actor? Does that scare you?
You think it would scare me, but everybody, very cliche, but comedy is pain, and you have to go through those experiences to make you a better person. And I would not be the actor that I am today if I didn't go through the things I went through as a kid to make me stronger.
Okay, well, I liked your character, which means I guess I like you.
There you go. Sounds like a good deal. It was fun. It's always a blast. This is my passion. I love to make people laugh. This is what I do.
Okay, well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
My name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with
Sean Brady. I am a local California native. I grew up here. This was my first theater performance. Been trying to get out on the stage for the longest time. Luckily, Hope had the right part for me to come out and make my breakthrough. But most of the time I do TV and film type of acting. But I love just being in front of a live audience. I'm a surfer, I'm an actor, and that's what I do. I played Michael Gaines. Michael is a very talented individual. He is very good at what he does, improv and acting. However, he is very into himself, and he likes to be in control of things. So when he becomes out of control of things, or he can't gain that control, that's when the outside world, not so much in the improv, which you saw. In the improv, Sam will talk him down every now and again, but sometimes there's no talking to him. But in the outside world, that's just why he misses these certain parts, because he wants to tell the director what to do, basically. He wants that control, and he thinks he's right, and he makes choices, but they're not always the right choices, which is having that attitude of, I know what I'm doing all the time.
So how much of yourself did you put into this?
You know what? At first look, people might be like, oh, that's Michael. But I personally don't feel like I am. Maybe if I had another guy to back me up, they could back me up on that. But I would say very little of my actual self is put into this. I feel like the anger and the maybe the humor, that comes from me, and I can actually get to those certain levels because I've felt that. And obviously every person can kind of get to that level, but I would say about like 30% of it is actual Sean, and the rest is Michael, because I know where I need to go, and I can use that because I can feel those certain emotions, but I don't feel like I'm an actual show-off,
Actually, I've done interviews of television stars who basically are getting into theater. Yeah. And actually, you're a lot more talented than they are, because they were actually just TV people starting to get into theater, and they weren't as skilled thespian as you are.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Yeah, I mean, I've done certain plays. I'm in an improv group. That's how I got found by Hope, because I've been itching to do a play. I've been itching to do one, but it's like, you got to be part of the company. But luckily, through some loophole, they let me be a part of this. I auditioned. They're like, you're perfect for it. I'm going to do it. So to take my improv and mix it with a scripted play, which is a very interesting idea, and I'm so happy to be like, this is like my first one, because I'm like, oh, we get to do improv too. So it's so cool because you're always on your toes, because it mixes really quick from improv to the scripted play. So you always have to be ready, support, and just be ready for anything.
Yeah, the interviews that I did with the other people, they basically said that, well, the reason they're getting into this is because a lot of the great roles on TV are now going to great theater actors from overseas. Yeah. They're doing it to help their TV career. Is that why you're doing it, or do you really like theater?
Oh, no, I didn't know that. But I love all the aspects, right? I think for most actors, it's like you want to do the film or the TV, right? You want those roles where it's like it's got some substance and stuff. But personally, I've been wanting to get on the theater just to get in front of. I just like being in front of the audience, because the level of energy that I get from just people being out there. I'd rather them be strangers. I invited some of my family tonight, but I would rather them be strangers, and I take it in. Either they hate the show or they love the show, but you take it all in and you just leave it all out there, and whatever happens. But that energy that they give off, whether it's good or bad, is still going to affect me, and I'm going to use it for the character, no matter what it is. So,
well, actually, I liked your character a lot.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. It's a lot of fun to play.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Have a good day, man.
Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm with
Andrew Walker. Well, I've been at Theatre West for about 20-some years. I've done a little bit of television. I've done shows around town, and I'm currently appearing in Without Annette. Thank you for coming. I'm playing a character named Sam Wasserman. He's the instructor at an improv class. Sam is an actor who was in a television series in the early 80s. His career fell off after that. He's adjusted by sort of becoming a mentor to younger actors, teaching them improv, and trying to find satisfaction in the good work, not necessarily the fame.
Yeah, so is that basically your life story, Sue? Are you very similar to that character?
Well, my career hasn't taken off, but he's very noble. He's a good person. I would like very much to be more like Sam.
Yeah, because basically I was speaking to the rest of the cast. Everyone puts so much of themselves into it, because, again, this is improv, so you basically put yourself into it. And, again, I guess the same question is with you. How much of yourself did you put into this?
I think quite a bit, because I used to teach theater for LA Unified for about 10 years. So playing someone who teaches an improv class, there are a lot of parallels. And there's also, it's a very supportive story. The people love each other in this play, and we're blessed with a cast that gets along very, very well and cares for each other. So it makes our job a lot easier when that sort of chemistry happens.
So how important is improv to theater?
I think it's surprisingly important. I didn't do a lot of improv early on in my career, and it teaches you to be open to the moment, and it teaches you to think of new opportunities, new choices. You can fall into a rut in a lot of cases, and improv teaches you to keep your imagination alive and to try different things during a rehearsal.
Yeah, this is a new one for me. I don't think I've ever seen something like this where it was like 60% scripted and 40% improv.
I'll be honest with you, neither have I. I mean, it's amazing that it really hasn't been done more often, because it's very exciting for us. We get to surprise ourselves. We stay alive. The history of this play is a lot of people keep coming back to see that 30%, that 30%, that 30%. And I think this is sort of thing, a sort of style and a particular play that could become very popular nationwide once people discover it.
Yeah, it'll be kind of like a jazz piece where basically you may hear that for the first time and never hear it again.
In many senses, yes. I mean, we have an idea where we want to end with certain scenes, but like you heard, we get the suggestions from the audience, and we sometimes wind up in entirely different places, and it's kind of exciting. It keeps us alive.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed the performance.
Well, thank you very much for coming, sir. I appreciate it very much.
Great. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Take care, sir.
Without Annette will be playing at Theatre West from June 14th to August 30th. For more information, go to theaterwest.org or search for AMB Theatre, that's all one word, AMB Theatre on Facebook.